Rotimi, thank you for taking the time out to join us today.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So I was just talking to my guest in the studio about, latest market news. That's earnings from Zenith Bank, a tier 1 lender, and the numbers. Decent earnings, according to what the conversation I've been having so far. But what was the reaction, response from the market today? What were you stockbrokers saying amongst yourselves in terms of how good these earnings were?
Well, the result was well greeted with a lot of enthusiasm. And from my own perspective, I think it's a further validation that the fundamentals for at least the tier 1 banks are still very strong. We've seen what the figures are with respect to Guaranty Trust Bank. And now it has come forth again for Zenith Bank. So the fear of whether it's just one out of the pack is already out of it. And we can also further see what has happened today in the market. If you look at the majority of the banking sector stocks, virtually all of them are in the positive region in terms of their share price. And that also goes on to tell us that a lot of apprehension that people are having with the downward trend of the market in recent time may not really hold fast if actually they can hold on to what they have and even take up more positions with respect to the way the market is right now. And I think it definitely will be the most wise decision to take at this point in time. But even when you look at other sectors, Dangote Cement also was one of the top gainers today, coupled with MTN. And I think with all of this, I believe there is still very much hope for the market.
You know, Rotimi, the market knows, we all know that when it comes to fundamentals, many stocks, many of those names listed on the NSE have good, strong fundamentals. But many times we've seen, and as you know, we've seen in the last couple of weeks, the market continues to ignore that. Obviously due to some domestic issues and, of course, the broader global market, what's happening there. And we've always talked about, okay, what is that catalyst that could come into the market and give the market some wings, or, you know, some air beneath the wings. We're seeing this happening now, but this market is also known to get over very quickly the euphoria of whatever catalyst comes to the market. Is this going to be one of such occasions again?
Can you take the last part of it again?
Do you think that the market, this euphoria would wane in the next couple of days?
It will most likely wane, because the kind of momentum that the market gathered today by having the All-Share Index being lifted up by about 0.71%, I think it's quite substantial, and I don't really see a lot of sustainability in this. Even if we are able to survive tomorrow, it may not be at the same pace, and by the time we get to later part of the week, the market the enthusiasm may begin to even out. But be that as it may, it doesn't cut out the hope that the market really holds for time to come. And I think we should most likely at least be very, very positive with respect to the way the market is, and at the same time for investors to still put a lot of caution on what they buy with good fundamentals.
Speaking about what they buy, I was just taking a look today at the month to date, how the consumer goods index performed last week. One of the worst, if not the worst performing index last week, down 6.6%. It's down today 1.5%. I'm just wondering, the apathy in this sector appears to be gaining more momentum. What can you tell us in terms of, why this is getting worse? Just looking at even the year to date, also very abysmal. I'm just wondering, what are investors thinking when they look at those stocks in the consumer goods sector?
Well, I think it's been most cut across for that particular sector, but we've seen the impact coming more from Nestle Nigeria PLC. And when you look at the likes of Cadbury, the likes of PZ, the likes of Dangote Sugar, they've all had their own portion of negative contribution to the All-Share, to the sectoral index, and also the All-Share index. But be that as it may, I believe that they are not really having it good in terms of their product portfolio, in terms of what they sell to the consumers. But with the way things are, I think various policies will have to be involved in order for this kind of trend to abate to a great extent. And I believe strongly that the likes of the bureaus, and that is Nigerian bureaus, Guinness, international bureaus, they've not really been having it good at all in terms of their turnover and also the bottom line. So I think all of these are what is contributing to that particular sector not doing well, and is a big fear to the entire market. how they may fare in the nearest future.
Okay, finally, but are you positive for what this week will bring for the market, finally?
Can you take that again?
Are you positive? Are you optimistic for what this week will bring for the market?
Well, I'm very positive. I'm very positive that by the time the week will be closing, at least no matter how marginal it is, it definitely may be with a positive change for the Russia index.
Okay.